Let's say you have a good old-fashioned father. It's Sunday afternoon, you have to visit grandma. The father, good old-fashioned authoritarian father, will tell you, listen, I don't care how you feel if you're a small kid, of course. I don't care how you feel. You have to go.
You're going.
Going grandmother and behave there properly.
Okay.
That's good. You can resist. No, nothing is broken. But let's say you have this so-called...
By the way, manufacturing consent in this respect and like authoritarian forms of information control versus like more neoliberal forms of information control is the singular issue that I think Žižek and Noam Chomsky agree on, despite disagreeing on so much more. This is the one issue that they both fucking agree on, and I agree with them as well. I think this is the truth.
Postmodern father. What he will tell
you is the
postmodern
father, not neoliberal.
You know how much your grandmother loves you, but nonetheless, you should only visit her if you really want to. Now, every child who is not an idiot, and they are not idiots, know that this apparent free choice secretly contains an even much stronger order. It's not only you have to visit your grandmother, but you have to like it. So
I'm beginning to like this book all the more.
That's one example of how apparent tolerance, choice, and so on can conceal a much stronger order.
So we should go back to more like the dad that just says, "Because I said so."
Absolutely, it's more honest.
I disagree with Žižek on this, on his conclusion. I think the neoliberal form of control is better.
We went to the McDonald's breakfast. This is not so ridiculous. Look what you get. Look what you get.
But that was the argument that he makes. No, I agree with Žižek here. No, you don't. And the reason why you don't, he at least recognizes he has personal experience in the more authoritarian type of control, but you don't. I promise you, you don't, and you don't want it. I thought he agreed with Chomsky. No, they agree on the two different forms of controlling information. And yes, I would rather manufacture consent than literally enforce, literally force people into submission. His argument is that they're ultimately the same. I don't disagree that they're ultimately the same. I'm literally saying that it is a necessity. Control is a necessity for governance. Okay? Control is a necessity for governance. And governance is a necessity for society to function. Therefore, I would rather hide that method of control, hide that control, and sell you the idea that you are making these choices on your own than fucking tell you like, no, you're going to do this because this is the way the government is. That is my point of view. That is my position on which is a more successful method of control. Demonstrably, the illusion of choice is a better method of control than telling you have just one thing. Like you can only do one thing. Is control or acceptance required for governance? Yes. Control is required for governance. Okay? All matter here, even from I'll try to think about this from a theoretical position, right? All laws and all regulation ultimately disenfranchises people. So what we do without recognizing it is we make choices on what that disenfranchisement is because it's acceptable. Okay? Technically, laws around murder disenfranchise people that want to do murder. It is. That's what it is. Okay? You're disenfranchising people that want to do murder. Sorry. But everyone recognizes that that is appropriate because that's how a society should function. Otherwise, it would not. Right? Because then motherfuckers would just be running around murdering people. You get it? Just like all forms of governance still rely on a level of authoritarianism or a level of control. You got to make people do things that they don't want to fucking do because some people do not recognize that it is a necessity. LMAO, let's not mention First Nation society and governance. Making the illusion of peace and order is the truest evil, in my opinion. Okay. I don't think that true liberty in the way that you think liberty exists is actually going to be a peaceful existence, a peaceful coexistence, rather. I don't. I think the material condition that people are subjected to makes them unhappy. I think the material conditions that people are subjected to make them unhappy. Not being able to pursue happiness or fulfilling endeavors or having time for yourself, having time to, you know, or having any sort of autonomy over your own life in a way that makes you feel free is the reason why people feel upset in modern society. I think the alienation causes people to feel depressed in modern society. But having said that, having a level of control where something else takes care of the business, like a separate entity that you have delegated these tasks to, take care of the regular, boring fucking monotonous tasks is a necessity. Otherwise, you would lose your fucking mind. Isn't saying without law there's no morality the exact same argument as without religion there's no morality, just from a neoliberal point of view? I'm not saying that people are going to devoid into chaos. That people are going to fucking turn into chaotic beings. Okay, I'm just describing to you what laws do. Yes, laws are an attempt to codify morality. I didn't bring up morality at all. But no matter what happens, you need to have rules and regulations. Otherwise, the self-interest that people have is going to make them do things that are going to harm others. You literally said people would be running around killing each other. Yes, in an altercation where you get angry, you could resort to fucking murder. And if there's no other like method of control there and you don't know that murder is bad, like you're not going to intrinsically know that fucking murder is bad. You still need to learn it. So some level of control is needed. How do you know that China is not a DOTP? Look, I don't know about you, but if food and shelter are out of reach for me as a poor, then I'd at least like to live where the pigs don't harass me. Laws voted through direct democracy lead to the least amount of discrimination within the system, Hasan? Yes. That's not what I'm talking about, though. Every part of... I'm not saying that direct democracy is bad, chatters. Okay? Clearly, I advocate for democracy. What I'm stating is you would have no freedom to do fulfilling things and make your life more meaningful and happier if you had to literally fucking vote on every single thing that the state is deciding for you. There's a level of freedom that you have to live your life. There's a level of freedom that you get to live your life in the way that you want to when there is some method of control that is dealing with all the other shit, like a court system. Like, can you imagine? Let's break this down to a commune, right? Let's break this down to a communal system. You have a commune. You have like 20 people, 25 people fucking living together inside of a commune. Imagine having to fucking do a goddamn like direct democratic fucking process for every single time that you want to distribute like the share of the bread inside of the commune. You would literally not have an opportunity to do anything else. You would have to constantly fucking deliberate endlessly. Therefore, lose the opportunity of you know, pursuing other shit. No, but for major legislation, it's important. Yeah, no shit. I wasn't saying that. Guys, I wasn't saying that, like, let the government control every aspect of your life without you having a single say in it. That's insane. I don't believe in, like, what's the term? It's like the magnanimous, authoritarian, not magnanimous. What's the fuck? There's no shit. No. I just like there's a can't remember it now. Benevolent, yes, a benevolent dictator. Benevolent, not magnanimous. Benevolent. Thank you. Like I don't believe in a fucking benevolent dictator that's going to control everything. Anyway. GTRP analogy describes it the best way. Imagine if every minute of no pixel was every single streamer voting on, debating on patch notes and updates for the server. It's kind of like the way I control this chat. Like, I do shit that's authoritarian in nature. I silence you, okay? I tell you to shut the fuck up. Or I literally fucking eliminate your opportunity to even speak. And I do it, ultimately, because I want to make sure that there is at least a sense of order in here. If you don't do that, you get XQC's chat. Do you want XQC's chat, or do you like that this is the chat the way it is? And as much as you guys shit on the mods, if they weren't here also operating this way, then you literally would have chaos in the chat all the goddamn time. Yeah. Motherfuckers get mad at cum stacking in no pixel, but then they're like, we need to cum stack before every decision. Okay. Do you think the same with cops? I have said time and time again that there is always in every fucking societal formation, there is always going to be need for a unit or an organization that polices or at least maintains the presence of law and order. Yes. Just, you know, not the way that we have cops currently. In theory, police are supposed to protect and serve the interests of the public. The problem is that they don't do that, and they protect and serve the interests of capital. That's the issue. The issue with policing is not that they fucking exist in general. It's just that they exist to serve not what they supposedly claim to serve, but instead to fucking serve something entirely different. Like, because ultimately there is always going to be people who are self-serving, which is understandable, okay? Normal, and to a degree natural. So you have to work together to fight back against natural urges of that capacity, because self-serving interests are just as natural as collectivist action. It's just that under capitalism, we highlight individualism rather than collectivism and assume that everyone is just simply incredibly fucking individualist. Okay? But you still need you still absolutely need some form of control. That's why you guys all jerk off to fucking Sam Cedar destroying libertarians. Like, because it's really simple. You're like, okay, I'm gonna come and take your shit. How do you deal with it? You can't. On my way to come and take your shit, there's no roads anymore. How do you deal with it? You can't. There needs to be a court system. Even minarchists will recognize the need for a court system. So then how do you enforce the court system? Anyway. Don't you think your take is biased by the control you're also under in NA? What do you mean? I'm biased because this is my preference. I'm admitting to the method of control that I exist under, and I'm saying that I prefer that. Anyway, okay. I'm going to move on from this because this is like, we've talked about it a lot, but I think it was good. It was good that we talked about it. I think that this was a wonderful conversation.